Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Week 12 is upon us. I had to turn the hat backwards. I need some good vibes after week 11 because I got not some great picks. Oh, look, Gabe, trophy.
Read it.
Yeah, he's so if you don't know, if you're unaware, the three of us have a competition to see whose optimal lineups perform the best during each week. And Gabe has won back-to-back weeks to put himself back in the hunt. We're all at the same amount of points though, so it's anybody's game. But Gabe has had back-to-back, so I'll give you that. Lot to cover tonight. The biggest thing is I really hope that this week is a little bit better than last week. There were some really weird turns of events. I would just put it that way with Kenneth Gainwell, with Sean Tucker. So just some weird stuff happened that were not expected. But shot some of our lineups, but we're back. Week 12. It's going to be great. We'll go through some injury news as we go along this week, but let's go ahead and just jump into it. We'll go week 12, quarterback values, unless y'all have something you want to say, Gabe, Cole.
Yeah,
I mean,
Stranger Things is big into the media right now, so we can just say that everything that happened this last week is in the upside down.
Yes, yeah.
Sean Tucker.
Yeah, week 11.
Gainwell.
Upside down.
Upside down. Yeah. Some stranger things happened this weekend.
Yeah. Dude, this is going to be random and has nothing to do with fantasy football, but I thought about rewatching Stranger Things, and the thought of having to watch that many hours to get up to date for season 5, I'm just going to have to find a really good YouTube video, watch that, and then jump into season 5 because I cannot make myself watch that many shows.
They'll do a recap video at the beginning, I'm sure. I mean, they can't have it sit out that long and all these kids be 30 years old and not do a recap video. What happened?
Yeah, dude, they do look so old. Anyways, week 12. Here we go. On the books. Quarterback value play. Who do I want to start? Let's go Gabriel. He looks confident. What you got?
So I want to start off by saying this. The longer the season goes on in Draftkings, the tighter your salaries become and the values become what are they called? Few and far between the longer you go, because you start getting a little more consistent scoring outputs so that they can start, creating more accurate salaries. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Week 12, we're over halfway through the season. So you're starting to get players that have been consistently producing, getting higher salaries, and players who were higher values at the beginning of the season starting to get their salaries to go up to where they're kind of where they were producing at. So we'll talk about that a little bit later when we get towards like the receivers and stuff, but we'll start with quarterbacks. This guy, talked about him last week, and I know both of you guys are going to have him on your list probably, but I can't not mention him first, and that's Jacoby Brissett. I looked at his last 5 games and tell me if this is good or not. He's averaging 314 yards passing and 2 touchdowns a game and 24 fantasy points. So 24 fantasy points equates to a DraftKings salary of $8,000, and he's never been above 6. So the fact that you can get Jacoby Brissett versus Jacksonville again at 5,300 is insane to me. Also makes me think that there may be some regression in the future, but I haven't seen it yet. So I have no reason to think that it's going to come at home versus Jacksonville. So that's my favorite play at the quarterback position. A little foreshadowing for the core 4, but perfect. I think I like a lot of quarterbacks above 6,000. I'm not gonna hit on a lot of the really, really cheap quarterbacks because I think you guys may have some, but if you need to, you can come back. But you at above 6,000 this week, you have Lamar Jackson against the Jets, 6,700. You have Jalen Hurts against Dallas at 6,600. You have Pat Mahomes against Indy at 6,800. And then the final quarterback you have is Drake May against Cincinnati at 6,900. So you have no quarterback above 7,000 salary, which would equate to 21 fantasy points. One of those 4 quarterbacks is going over 21 fantasy points this week. So I really think this is the week that I'm going to build around a chalkier quarterback just because of the upside with all four of those guys below 7,000. All right, I'll pass it off to one of you guys to talk about some more of your values. And if you don't mention a guy that I have on here, maybe I'll talk about him for a minute. But really, it's be Jacoby Brissett for me, and then I'm kind of leaning on some higher price quarterbacks. May have a few lower ones just in some just for some different exposure.
Yeah,
Hello.
I like it.
Take it away.
You sure?
Yep.
All right. Gabe, I will echo you there on Jacoby Brissett at 5,300 versus Jacksonville, who is 28th to the fantasy quarterback position, 21.5 fantasy points per game to that position. You already talked about the 5 games as a starter. One of the things you did not talk about that I'll echo or that I'll hit on is 2 or more touchdowns accounted for in each game he's played so far. And then I've talked about this for 3 or 4 weeks in a row. It's just Jacksonville's inability to get after the quarterback. 3rd lowest sacks this season, although last week they absolutely manhandled Justin Herbert. So that stat meant nothing last week. But I do think that that does play a part. I think if you look at the Chargers, their offensive line's pretty beat up. I'm not making excuses for my pick last week. It was terrible. It's on me. But I do like Jacoby Brissett in this spot. Another guy, so one of the deeper cuts this week that I like or I'm curious about because I know Aaron Rodgers is questionable, but you can get Mason Rudolph at 4,700 potentially if Aaron Rodgers gets ruled out against Chicago's defense, who is 29th at the quarterback position, is 21.8 fantasy points per game. Last week, he did really well. I know Cincinnati's defense is not great, but he was 12 for 16, 127 yards and a touchdown in relief of Rodgers last week in the second half. Chicago allows 231 passing yards per game and 364 total yards per game, which is bottom of the league or one of the bottom ones of the league. So I just really like the matchup there. I think Mason Rudolph could be a steal at 4,700. Gabe probably disagrees because he watched that man play at Tennessee for all of last year. And I know he didn't have a great performance last year, but he's familiar with the Pittsburgh offense. He's been around the system before. So I do like that play a lot. I know we were planning on recording this yesterday, which would have been Thursday. It had Jackson Dart written down at 5,600 against Detroit, but I do believe he just got ruled out today. So that may be a Jameis Winston play potentially. I got to look at his salary, but I've only got Jacoby Brissett.
I was going to say, I was going to hit on Jameis if one of you guys didn't. But,
yeah. Well, I got to look at his salary, but because I was putting kids to bed when I saw that update. So I have not seen 4,600. Yeah. I do like that play against Detroit. They're 21st to the fantasy quarterback position, 18.6. That matchup just strikes me as a Jameis Winston ball out game for some reason. So I just like his ability against Detroit. So something to keep an eye on as you're getting ready to, he's a friend of the pod, so we got to bring him up at least once as we're talking. So those are kind of 3 quarterbacks I have circled for this week on value. But I'm not going to steal yours, Cole, because I know exactly who you're going to say. But I like him this week. But I'll pass it to you so you can talk about him a little bit.
All right, guys. I also have Jacoby Brissett, so let's hit this real quick. A little bit of. All right.
Panic.
That's not bad. Yeah, Jacoby Brissett, I mean, against Jacksonville, he said 5 weeks over 20 plus. He's still 5,300 salary. I mean, that's crazy to me. With Jacksonville being 26th in passing yards allowed and 27th versus QBs, he didn't slow down without Marvin Harrison Jr. either. He kept a really incredible pace. And I mean, at 5,300, why not just keep riding that streak and just keep on going? So.
Yeah, way to catch there.
I'm gonna use this soundboard a little more than I have the last few weeks. I'm gonna have a. Well, I'm not gonna play the sound because we have a youth pastor with us, and I don't know if the D word is allowed. It's my dang son. Where'd you find this pick of the week?
No, you can use that one. You can use that one.
Good. Okay.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
All right. Guys. Tyrod Taylor starting this week against Baltimore, 4,300. I like it. And he is starting against Baltimore. Baltimore's kind of surging a little bit. They are playing a little bit better. But first start at week 3 against Tampa, he scored 18. Tampa's not a bad defense either. I think they're better than Baltimore. So the Jets are going to fall behind, and they're going to have to sling it around, and Tyrod's going to have to do the slinging.
Yep.
Immunity.
Yeah, he's going to have to sling it. Yeah.
I think the scary thing with him really is more to me pass catchers without Garrett Wilson, but he's on the IR now. So, but there is a lot of value there. I will say that with the New York Jets pass catchers, which I'm going to hit on a little bit later. But
yeah, and he's a running threat too. He had 80 rushing yards in one game. So he's got opportunity with his legs. Obviously, he's not a spring chicken anymore. He's older. You know, he's not running around like he used to. But there's still potential there. And the last two guys I got, pick your poison in this game: Tyler Shuck or Kirk Cousins. And I know what you're thinking. Don't pick Kirk Cousins, but there's something in Kirko, and he's got his opportunity now to see if he can do something. Tyler Shuck looked great in his last game too. I mean, he looked really good. He looked like he had potential. The scary thing is now Devon Vele has moved up to wide receiver 2. So Brandon Cooks just got released, or actually he's still on the roster. The NFL is not letting him be released yet for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's because he took a pay cut, and the NFL doesn't like that. But he's still, for some reason, on the roster. But I don't think he's going to play. And one guy I'd like to mention, even though I didn't write him down or didn't put him down, is I think it's the perfect time. What do you guys think? Huh? We got perfect timing?
Shedeur
Sanders' opportunity here.
I've got it down. And what I was going to say about Shedeur is that 3 of the last quarterbacks to face Las Vegas, since Las Vegas has not let up a 100-yard rusher this year, which is insane to me. But with Devin White at linebacker, Max Crosby, you got Dak Prescott, 25 points, Pat Mahomes, 26 points, 2 really good quarterbacks, but also Trevor Lawrence, 22. So that's 3 quarterbacks against Vegas that have had good games, and Shedeur's at almost the minimum of 4,200 with some decent pass catching weapons. With Judy and
actually
Bannon and Njoku. So.
Yeah, I went back and watched all 16 of his passes, and there was some good. I know he got a lot of hate for 4 for 16, and I mean that's really bad. I do think this is a favorable matchup, like you said, Gabe. And I do think he's got some decent weapons at receiver and definitely at the tight end position. So with him to be the cheapest quarterback on the slate against a favorable matchup, it's definitely worth having him in at least a lineup this weekend, because I do think there is potential for him, especially taking first-team reps all week. I do think that he may have the ability to find some serious value this weekend against the Raiders. So I'm not mad at that one at all. But you got any more, Cole? Because you named about 7 on the slate. Anybody else you want to run through?
I'm just really intrigued by the value you can get quarterback this week. I mean, Tyler Shucks seems really low for the game that he had last week, and then Tyrod Taylor's potential kind of stands out to me against Baltimore. It's very intriguing with those low numbers. But no, that's my 7 quarterbacks for this week.
I love it, dude. I will say about the Shuck play is intriguing to me just because of the way he played his last time out. And then the Falcons are reeling bad.
Well, they're injured. They're really hurt really bad right now.
Yeah, they're tore up, and Bryce Young just absolutely ate them last week. So I could totally see him having good value this week. Like I said, like y'all said already, I mean, across the board, high to low, you can find some tremendous value in the quarterback position. So you got to kind of just pick your poison there, have a couple different lineups with a wide variety for this weekend's afternoon slate. So a lot of opportunities there. But let's jump to running back. This one's going to be an interesting. We got a lot of people listed as questionable going into the weekend. Going to be some game time decisions. So Cole, I'll let you run us through your running back values this week. And as we're going through this segment, we can talk a little bit about some of the injury news and some of the ones that are listed as questionable for Sunday.
All right, Gabe. Your favorite player is breaking out this weekend. Who you got? Take your guess.
Alvin
Kamara at 5,500 against the Falcons. Banged up. basically the whole year, been hurt basically every week. Coming off a bye, he's had a chance to ice that ankle down. He's got an opportunity to get a little more healthy. Falcons' defense is hurt.
I think I know what they were doing. I think they were saving him for the division games. They let him loose against Carolina. So that's my opinion. I think they were like, there was no reason when Kendre Miller went down with a torn ACL that he should have been getting 20-plus touches a game, but he didn't get 20-plus touches until the first division game against Carolina. Sorry, go ahead. I know they're playing Atlanta.
I mean, it's fine. He's getting older. I mean, it makes sense. He's getting older. Might as well save him for the most important games.
You win your division, you go to the playoffs. I think that's kind of their thought with Kamara is just save him for the games that matter the most.
I'm pretty sure you have to have the best record in the division, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and that's not happening. They're not making the playoffs. They're 20. The Falcons are 28th in rush defense, and
Hold on, I gotta say something. Good theory, Gabe, but you're freaking wrong. Just kidding.
Sorry.
And they need receivers. They need pass catchers. So he's going to have an opportunity to get more receptions too. Second guy I've got is Chase Brown at 6,200 against New England, which will scare a lot of people, and it should because New England's rush defense is really talented. But he's looked to return back to form a little bit. He's looked to be himself. I'm expecting more catches with Jamar being out. Another opportunity for him to get receptions as well. I think the last
Piron's doubtful as well for Cincinnati.
Yeah, so his opportunities will be there. I'm very intrigued by this. I think is Joe Burrow. He was possibly going to play. Is he out?
He's out. He's not playing.
Okay.
Yeah, he's out.
So if Joe Burrow was back, I would probably say hammer it, but he's still got potential with Flacco. Now the third running back I've got, I absolutely hate. I cannot stand. I hate picking this guy. I hate picking this guy. His name?
I guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ken Walker.
No. Breece Hall.
Oh, yeah.
Breece Hall at 6,100 against Baltimore. Tyrod, if he's not going to be dependent on, then it's going to be dependent on Breece Hall running the ball. So I think his workload may be high. The problem with him is he's so Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Did I say that right? I mean, he's so wishy-washy. He's the most inconsistent guy I think I've ever seen. And if you pick him 1 week, he'll go for 31. You pick him another week, he's going to go for 9 or 8. It's brutal to put him in your lineup.
His stats right now, he is very volatile. He is up and down. He's not. Yeah, he's a boomer bust for sure.
He is a brutal pick, but man, I've got him in some lineups. But just hang on to your butts on Sunday.
Yeah, dude. All I can think about when you say that is Jurassic Park. Samuel Jackson, that cigarette just barely hanging on that lip. Hold on to your butts, boys.
That cigarette only stayed in that guy's mouth because it was Samuel Jackson. It had to look cool.
No doubt.
That's the only reason.
No doubt. That's all 3 for you?
That's all 3 I got. Who's next?
All right, I'll let it rip because I know Gabe's itching. So before I get sniped, I'm gonna go ahead and take some shots here. Biggest one for me this week is Emmanuel Wilson at 5,300 if Jacobs is out. I think he's listed as questionable. He's going to be a game time decision, but had a decent performance kind of in that relief role. Minnesota is allowing 127 rushing yards a game. Last week, he had 11 carries, 40 yards, 1 touchdown. He also had 1 target, 1 reception for 9 yards. Biggest thing for me there is getting a bell cow at that price because the reality is if Jacobs is out, he's going to get all the carries. And at 5,300, that's a really hard opportunity to pass up. So Emmanuel Wilson is the number 1 guy for me this week if Jacobs is out. The second guy, this one pains me to say as well, Cole. I thought you were going to snipe me. I've got Ken Bone Walker the third at 5,400 against Tennessee, who is 30th to the fantasy running back position, averaging an astonishing 27.6 fantasy points per game. Last week, second highest output from the fantasy scoring column, 20.1 fantasy points last week. He played 43 snaps, which is the most he's played all season long. 16 carries, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Also had his most receiving yards or receptions or receiving yards. I can't remember since week 1.
Both.
3 targets, 3 receptions, 44 yards, 19 total touches, 5,400 offensive coordinator said he's earning more opportunities. If you remember all the way back to the beginning of the season when we started talking about these guys and their opportunity, we kind of thought that Ken Walker was going to get kind of that rest treatment like they do in the NBA. Kind of start him slow. Now that they're 7-3, 7-2, I can't remember off the top of my head what the Seahawks record is, but now that they're competing and they have a real championship contender, it's time to let the big dog eat. Ken Walker, 5,400, give him to me this week. And then the last guy I've got this week is actually Trevor Etienne at 5,000. What'd you say?
Trevor plays for the Panthers.
Yep, sorry, Travis.
Don't pick Trevor.
I was thinking about I was thinking about Trevor Lawrence and got thrown in there for a second. Travis Etienne, not Trevor. Do not pick him because he will not play a snap. Travis Etienne, 5,900 against Arizona, 23rd to the fantasy position, running back position, 24.8. Tootin's dealing with an ankle injury. What are y'all laughing at? What I say?
Somebody like starting Travis or Trevor Etienne, and then like commenting under the video, being like,
you can't take it out of context. You got to have the whole clip, baby.
Dude, this dude told me to start Trevor Etienne.
Hey, look,
Carolina's not on the
you
slate.
clip it. You clip it if Trevor Etienne goes for 20 fantasy points.
I was about to say now he's going to score a touchdown.
Yeah, clip it. But I do like Travis. Like I said, last 3 games he's kind of returned to form: 16, 15, and 19. Starting to get back on track a little bit. Tootin's dealing with the ankle injury, like I said. He had 19 carries, 73 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 targets last week. And the biggest thing for me is if you look at Arizona's defense the last 2 weeks, back-to-back weeks of 40-plus points. Seahawks, they let up 44. San Francisco, they let up 41. I think there's a real opportunity for Travis Etienne to have some legs this week. So he's one of my favorite values of the week at 5,900. But now that I've butchered that segment completely, Gabe, I will pass it to you.
I agree with you. The running back room and list of players is a lot of where that parity in salary comes along. As Travis Etienne's listed at 5,900, that's still 6,000 in my opinion. That's 18 points. I don't think he's projected 18 points on ESPN. So they priced these guys a little higher than they're projected in the season-long salary, but that's due to the upside potential. That's why they have them priced there. But so what I'll say about – I have one more guy that I'll talk about besides Travis Etienne, but the volume's back, like you said. Trevor Lawrence's pass attempts in the last 3 weeks have been 22, 23, and 34, and that's due mainly to the Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter injury. Before that, it was 48 attempts and 42. I don't know if you mentioned that or not, but
I did. That's a good point.
Travis Etienne is averaging 21 touches in his last 3 games, and they've moved towards a way more heavy run approach with him and Tootin. So, Etienne's getting good volume there at that price. So you mentioned Wilson. If Travion Henderson at 6,700, if Ramondre Stevenson's out, I don't even think this one warrants any type of, against Cincinnati in-depth analysis. He's had 30 plus in the last 2. You play him at 6,700. That's not even 20 points projected, but the upside's too high, as you've seen with 5 touchdowns in 2 weeks. This is a guy you guys didn't mention, Kareem Hunt. Pacheco's out, so 5,100 against Indianapolis.
He is out?
He's playing.
No, Pacheco's out.
Are you sure?
I think he got cleared.
I looked at it.
He didn't have a designation yesterday.
I'm looking at it right now. Pacheco has been ruled out for Sunday's game against the Colts. That was – I don't know when that news came out, but I'm looking at it here.
That's why I didn't mention him. I thought he was ruled out.
No, Pacheco is ruled out.
I thought he was cleared to play yesterday when I was doing my research. Or he didn't have a designation.
He was limited at practice, but it says Andy Reid ruled out Pacheco for Sunday's game against the Colts. So
that's
he's out. On Friday. It came out. It came out later today. I missed it. Yep, good call.
Kareem Hunt, 5,100. He's had 17, 13, and 12, and he's had a touchdown all 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's a big touchdown guy.
Yeah. It's in an offense, they were spreading the ball around with Pacheco, Rashard Smith, and also Kareem Hunt. But it's clear Kareem Hunt's a goal line back, and also against Indianapolis, I think they score a lot of points there with Rashee Rice, Hollywood, Worthy, and the list goes on. As Patrick Mahomes, they're playing at home against Indy. They're going to score points. Kareem Hunt, he's outscored his projection or been at his projection 3 out of the last week since he's been starting.
Yeah.
So I think the floor is solid with Kareem Hunt at 5,100. I think that price is relative to the fact that they thought Pacheco would play this week.
Yeah.
As they priced it. So I think he's underpriced. That's all I have at running back. I had Alvin Kamara too. I'll say this about Alvin Kamara. Atlanta's letting up 138 yards on the ground this year. That's kind of been their weakness. In the last week, he played 22 carries, 3 catches. Wish he gave me 3 catches a few weeks ago when I picked him in Prize Picks. I have 3 catches in there, but
yeah,
whatever.
That's all right. That happens. It happens. All right, let's go receivers. Gabe, you go ahead because I know some of us are gonna definitely snipe your picks, and we've kind of already been taking your picks already. So
my list at receivers is so long, and that's because, like I said, I think you've got to find value there going forward due to the fact that quarterbacks and running backs are starting to even out.
Yeah.
Cole, I don't want to do this because I know that you are going to touch on him. Pause. So I'm going to skip him. I'm not going to say anything about him.
No, I don't. I didn't do it. Go ahead.
You didn't do it. Devon Vele at 3,200. Wow.
No, I didn't do it.
He's played 80% of the snaps last week. So with no Brandon Cooks, I actually do think against Atlanta with
opportunity.
I think the opportunity is there with another week with Shaw and also Olave. They're going to try to limit Olave. I feel like with that their number one corner. I think it's AJ Terrell, and that their number one corner. I feel like Vele makes some big play. Big play Vele. How about that?
Big play Vele? You heard it here first.
Let's go.
Yeah.
3,200 big play Vele.
There's no sample size. There's no sample size because he hasn't really broke out or played at all. So I think this is the week that if you're going to get him at 3,200, that's almost the minimum. Like this could be the lowest his price is the rest of the season if he has a good game. So look at that there. Favorite play of the week is Andre Iosivas for the Cincinnati Bengals. T. Higgins' price went up astronomically, 7,100. He's way up there. And if there's one thing I know about T. Higgins, he's the Breece Hall himself. He's a 3-point or 30. And also one thing about T. Higgins is he's got glass bones and paper skin. And you give him 1 week as number one receiver, he's bound to pull a hammy, roll an ankle, something if this week. And I'm staying so far away from T. Higgins. I'm being dead serious. I probably will not have a single lineup with T. Higgins because I am so terrified that
you need to put him in one because if you don't, he's going to go for 40.
That's true. I'll put him in one.
You just need to put him in one. Because you know exactly what's going to happen if you don't put him in one.
Yeah, and you're right. I'm gonna have.
He's going to be incredible. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure that you don't kill everybody's lineups.
That's fair. Christian Gonzalez, number one corner for the Patriots, very, very good. He's going to get the matchup on T. Higgins. Also, New England's got the best run defense in the NFL. I think I saw that stat last week. So I don't really like Chase Brown at 6,200 unless he scores a touchdown or catches a lot of passes. But I do think the fact they're going to stop the run and also have their best corner kind of shadowing T. Higgins, knowing that he's really their only real weapon on the outside besides Fant and Iosivas, and they're not, legitimate number one receivers anywhere else. T. Higgins is a 1. He's a wide receiver 1 anywhere else if he's not in Cincinnati. So I feel like they're going to try, and it's very variable. Variable's a defensive genius. He knows what to do. I think they're going to shut Higgins down, and Iosivas is going to be the guy this week. I might go on a limb and say he outscores T. Higgins, but we'll get maybe.
Wow.
Say it.
Foreshadow to the plum.
Say it.
Iosivas outscores T. Higgins this week. That's my prediction.
I love it.
They're either going to clip it or delete. One of the two. There's so many good values, dude. Like I could name 8 more guys that I think are
All
going
right,
to
hold them.
I'm going to hold them, but the
We're
last
gonna
one,
go to.
the last one I'm going to touch on is the New York Jets, because this is a receiver room that has so many revolving door receivers that there's got to be some consistency, and I think we finally found it after last week. John Mechie played.
Don't jinx him.
Huh? No.
Don't jinx him.
John Mechie played 82% of the snaps in his second week with the Jets.
Yeah.
So I do think that he is the new wide receiver 1. And Adonai Mitchell did not play the first week he was there. He played the second week, but he only had 49% of the snaps. But he did have, I think, 5 or 6 targets. The guy that's flying under the radar there is Isaiah Williams. And I'm not sure if he was a trade target or if they just for some reason decided they want to play him. But the week they traded for Mechie and Adonai, it was 43%. And then you would have thought that his snap total would have went down when Adonai played. It did not. It went up to 74%. And he's at the absolute bare minimum of 3,000. So the Jets wide receiver room is an absolute dart throw. Like that meme where it was like, I had 1 dart and I missed. that's the Jets wide receiver room. Is you got 1 dart and you got a hit, because if you don't, it can be a sad Sunday.
Yeah.
All right, I got a lot more. Let me toss it over to you or Cole, and let me see what you have, and throw it back to me if you can.
Yep. Cole, go ahead.
Yeah, I had Andre Iosivas also at 4,100 with Jamar Chase out. Potential's there. I completely assumed that Joe Burrow was playing, but he's not. He did have a good year with Joe Burrow last year, or some good games. But he had 18 in week 9, so that's something you could kind of keep an eye on. And New England's 17th against the pass. And like you said, New England's good against the run. So we got a little breaking news. So I'm going to play this sound real quick. Hopefully it doesn't blow y'all's eardrums out. All right. So I want to get y'all's comments on this. All right. So breaking news.
Breaking news.
All right. So as you know, Jamar Chase spit in Jalen Ramsey's face, got suspended.
Confirmed.
Okay, we know that. That's breaking news. AJ Brown commented in media availability this week. He said, if I'm having a bad year, then what are you going to say about Saquon Barkley? So let me ask you guys, who's the worst teammate, Jamar Chase or AJ Brown?
Yeah, I think it's AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
Chase is a bad teammate.
Now,
he's on a rival player. I think that makes him a better teammate. I think they probably gained some.
Well, here's the thing. Let's go back 1 week before that. Jamar Chase completely threw his whole defense, under the bus for not getting the stop.
It's true.
But he wasn't the only one.
He was not. Chase Brown was way worse. Way worse.
So who are y'all giving the nod to as the worst teammate between the two of them?
AJ Brown.
I think
AJ Brown 1,000%. Jalen Hurts won you a Super Bowl last year, throwing that touchdown to Devontae Smith and dropping like a 30 burger, and you're gonna come out and trash this man for what? He won you a Super Bowl, and he was Super Bowl MVP. I think there's a lot of resentment and jealousy from AJ Brown for some reason. Like, I don't know why he doesn't just take his money and just accept the fact that he's in the absolute one of the best situations. You know how many players would kill to be in Philly in the position that AJ Brown is in? There are so many wide receivers. Like I'm thinking, let's see, like Garrett Wilson in New York, the Jets, Justin Jefferson in Minnesota, and I owe everybody an apology.
All I could think about is Akon's song "Locked Up."
Oh God!
When I thought about Garrett Wilson and Justin Jefferson, poor guys.
Also, I owe everyone an apology for the fake tough guy JJ McCarthy last week. That was one of the worst calls we've had on the season.
Yeah, that was bad on my part.
I owe everyone an apology because that guy is trash. Yeah, dude, he's so bad.
That's exactly right.
Anyway, AJ Brown. I'm not gonna act like he's gonna ever hear this, but it's mind blowing to me the ignorance that he is showing in the position he's in, the team he's on, the money he's made. He was in Tennessee. Dude, he could be at the Titans right now. he could be at the Titans. Like, how did your perspective get so flawed in just that amount of time that you forget where you came from? You came from the worst team in the NFL right now. Like, it is. Anyway, sorry.
Let's get back on track. With that being said, one of my
the
my
worst.
next, let's get back on track. My next receiver is actually AJ Brown at 5,900 against Dallas.
And so one of our followers is actually a huge Eagles fan. I'd love to know what his opinion is. So please, I know you're listening to this, Breeze. Respond in the comments what you think of AJ Brown in a very nice way. Don't use any.
Don't get it fired.
Don't use anything that can get us canceled.
Yeah. What do the fans? What do the real fans think?
We're not making money on this, and we don't think we're ever going to make money on this. So let's relax and not get canceled or fired.
Gabe is.
Jobs. So I picked AJ Brown at 5,900. It's just so tantalizing against Dallas because Dallas's offense is so talented and so good that they're going to score a lot of points.
Yeah.
And so this game's going to have to be a shootout for one of these teams to win, from my assumptions and what I've seen. I think that the Eagles they're going to have to keep up in this game, and they're going to have to score points. And I think that leads to Jalen Hurts having to throw the ball more. I think that AJ Brown could potentially have a big game coming. But my last receiver I've got is John Mechie at 3,300. With Grant Wilson hurt, he is. I don't want to say he's wide receiver one because there's so many mediocre receivers. It's like my wide receiver 1A. He did have a touchdown last game. He needs opportunities. He's talented. I mean, the talent's there. We've watched it going back to Alabama. Like, he's not a bad player. It's just he's had to come back from cancer, bless his heart. So I'm expecting the Jets to throw the ball around a lot and have a lot of participation in the passing game. But A.D. Mitchell is also intriguing, and that's really scary to me, is A.D. Mitchell and how many targets he got, because he's talented too. But give me Mechie, man. Let's break out.
Oh man, dude, that's one of those moments where you shouldn't laugh, but
I just thought about the old.
It's the way you brought it up. It just.
I was thinking of some old lady sitting in, bless his heart. That's just
I know, dude.
Coffee shop.
Oh God.
Bless his heart, man. He fought cancer and won. He's playing the NFL.
Dude, don't get me started on the NFL's. I'm still so mad that DeMar Hamlin lost Comeback Player of the Year to Joe Flacco last year.
I'm not. I don't feel bad for that.
Sorry, all right, well, let me give you 3 receivers that are going to win your slate on Sunday. I've got Iosivas as well at 4,100. The only thing I'll add is obviously Chase suspension, opportunity for more snaps, but he's already playing 70+% of snaps in 7 straight weeks. So he's on the field, and now with the opportunity to be target number 2, I think it's going to bode well for him this week. And I'm kind of with you. I would not be surprised if he's the leading receiver on that team this weekend against New England. The second guy I've got, I talked about this guy about 3 weeks ago, right before he started going off. Matt Collins, 4,200 at Cincinnati.
I thought you were going. You have not mentioned the guy I thought you were going to say for sure.
Well, he's on my list. He's not in my 3, but I really like him this week too. So, but I've got Matt Collins at 4,200 against Cincinnati. Last 2 weeks, 15 targets, 10 receptions, 170 yards. Biggest thing that jumped out in my studies for Matt Collins, 3rd straight week, he has led the team in snaps on offense at the receiver position.
Good blocker, man.
And you're getting him cheaper than anybody else. He's not the receiver that Diggs is, but he's been a good safety blanket the last 2-3 weeks for really it's 3 out of 4 weeks for Drake May. So I really like him this week against Cincinnati's defense. The third guy I've got is Jerry Jeudy at 4,100 against Las Vegas, who is 30th to fantasy receivers, 39.5 fantasy points per game to that position. Gabe brought it up last week, but lots of targets come his way. He's got 19 targets the last 2 weeks. And I went back, like I said, and I watched all 16 of Shedeur Sanders' throws. 25% of the targets went to Jerry Jeudy. So I really like his opportunity this week. I think Shador is going to be more comfortable against a Las Vegas defense that hasn't been great against the pass this year. I think it's a good matchup. I think this is a good opportunity for Jerry Jeudy to show that he is a receiver one for that team. So those are 3 guys I've got. But I know Gabe, I love me some Jameson Williams, and he has been eating the past 3 to 4 weeks. He's at like 5,700. He will be in some lineups for me.
That's still
No
not
question about it.
That's still not who I thought you were going to say. I cannot believe
Oh, really?
I heard this guy.
Who you got?
Parker Washington, 5,200. His
I
price
like
is
Parker Washington. My concern for Parker Washington this week is I do feel like what you talked about for Travis Etienne and Tootin scares me slightly for him. I do feel like they're wanting to run the ball more than they are pass. I think they've seen what Trevor Lawrence does with that much weight on his shoulders. Hasn't been great this year, and I do think they've had more success the last 2 to 3 weeks running the ball. So I'm a little bit concerned about Parker Washington at the price, just because I think there's the opportunity where it just becomes a run-heavy game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I do think with Brian Thomas out, like we've gone through this list multiple times over the last 3 to 4 weeks. Brian Thomas is out. Travis Hunter is out. Brenton Strange, I believe, is still out. There's nobody left to throw the ball to. So I do like him. I feel like his floor is low, and that scares me a little bit. I mean, all these guys' values are low, but just not necessarily feeling that one in my plums this week.
Yeah, I think I think Jacoby Myers in his last 3 weeks, he's shown that he's going to be involved in the offense with 6 targets in 2 out of the last 3 games. Or it's 2 of the 3 games he's been in there. De'Ami Brown only played 27% of the snaps, so you've got Parker Washington, you've got De'Ami Brown there. Yeah, you've got Parker Washington, you've got De'Ami Brown, or Parker Washington and Jacoby Myers as your 2 receivers there. He only had 2 targets last week. Washington did, but before that it was 10, 9, and 7. So I do think Arizona will score against Jacksonville, which I think does open the door for some Jacksonville pass catchers to be involved. I don't think I think they will try to run the ball. Obviously, I think Travis Etienne's still a good play because I think he'll have some touchdown upside. But there is a game script there where that game goes over the 50 total points. I bet that over-under is probably 48, 49 points. So, I mean, I think you're looking at 3 to 4 touchdowns a piece for each team potentially. So I do think there's some value at a receiver with Myers and also Washington.
But over-under for that game is 47.5.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is, that's solid. It's not bad.
Yeah. I've said I got more, with Tillman and Jeudy. You got both those guys. Tillman's 3,700. I think he's more of a touchdown dependent play. I do think that he is a red zone target for Shador. He showed it last year as well.
Overthrew him in the end zone, I believe, last week. So he definitely was looking for him when they got down there.
I don't want to go too much longer on receivers because there's so many, dude. There's so many value receivers, but I think Shador
We'll put a clip together for the TikTok.
Yeah,
of just some serious value receivers.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So yeah, I'll stop now. Let's go. You want to go towards tight ends?
Yeah, let's do tight ends.
All
right. Cole Stardust, because I just can't say this name yet. Go ahead.
Everybody loves a good tight end, fellas. Here we go again. Jawan Johnson at 4,000 with a depleted wide receiver room. 19.2 last game with Tyler Shuck. I'm going to start him. I'm going to start him this week. He's my number one. He's my favorite tight end. I'm going to try and go quick because we're taking up a lot of time. Second guy is Mark Andrews at 3,800. Popular Lamar target. The New York Jets are 23rd against tight ends. And he's had at least 1 touchdown in the last 3 games. I think he got a rushing touchdown last game, surprisingly. Last guy, third and final. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Trey McBride, 6,800 against Jacksonville. Back-to-back 30-piece McNuggets from McBride. Jacksonville's 31st against tight ends. He's going to remain a top target for Jacoby Brissett. I expect a big day for Trey McBride. Give me Trey McBride. That's my third tight end. Who's next?
Gabe, go ahead.
Trey McBride, 30, 30, 16, 29, 21, all with Jacoby Brissett. I don't think he broke 20 points with Kyler Murray. Jacoby Brissett, elite quarterback the last 5 weeks in fantasy. All right. Fantasy MVP. Kyle Pitts, 4,300 this week with no Drake London. Kirk Cousins is starting. That terrifies me a little bit. It gives me nightmares to think about. But
Oh, dude, it makes me feel good for
really,
Kyle Pitts.
okay,
Yeah.
good.
He had the one start he had 9 targets, 9 receptions.
Yeah, that is true. Cousins has had a hard time connecting with receivers, especially ones whose last names are Mooney. I think Kyle Pitts, big target, probably his most. I say probably. Besides Bijan, he is their most reliable pass catching option with Drake London out. So I really do like Kyle Pitts. And this is some news that Cole said. Cole, hit me with the breaking news real quick. Go ahead.
Let me pull it up real quick here. Let me get I just worked on this today. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be loud. Here we go.
Breaking news!
Sam Laporta done for the season. You got Brock Wright at, I think he's at 3,000. He had 7 targets last week, and also he should have had a touchdown if Jared Goff could have stayed off his back, but he was getting absolutely wrecked. He had Brock Wright wide open on a drag.
Big balls.
Jared Goff spends too much time on his back. He needs to start standing. Noah Fant at 3,100 is another valuable pass catcher for Joe Flacco this week against New England. They're ranked 28th versus the tight end New England is. So I think you get some pretty decent value there. He's looking at about slightly over 9 points projected at that price. So that's my tight end room. I think there's some really good options there value wise, just like there is a receiver. But this is a week like I did it like last week, where I probably start 2 tight ends, having McBride and my flex at 6,800 because that's a wide receiver one. I'll die on that hill, and he's still not above 7,000. So,
yep, I like that. I've got y'all have mentioned all my guys. Kyle Pitts to me is intriguing at 4,300 against New Orleans. Last time Kirk started, I talked about it already, 9 targets, 9 receptions. So big target for Kirk O'Chains. Mark Andrews, we've already talked about at 3,800 versus the Jets. Andrews has scored 4 touchdowns in 3 weeks, double-digit points in all those games. So I think there's some value there, especially with likely out. So I think that Mark Andrews has some value there. And then Trey McBride, he is going to be, as long as he stays under 7,000, he is an automatic play for me because he is a wide receiver one for Jacoby Brissett. So those are the 3 guys I've got this week that we've kind of already talked through. So I'm going to breeze through it. But let's jump to core 4/plum picks. You want to do, Cole, go ahead and cue me up for a little plum action. We'll go plum picks first.
Cue up the plum pick action here. Let's get it all pulled up. You ready?
Can you feel the tension in the air right now? I know I can. I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
yes.
In the plums. Gabe Wagner. What are the plums saying this week?
The plums are telling me that Devon Vele is going to score a long touchdown versus Atlanta. Big play Vele.
Big play Vele.
I like that a lot. Oh, come on. I'll stand up off the couch if that happens. I'll celebrate like a champ.
Cole, what you got?
You know, I'm going to throw a joke one out there for you guys. Jermaine Burton, Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense. I didn't even think about him, but he did have a good preseason, and he played some last year, so maybe he gets on the field.
With that being said, I actually want to go with Noah Fant. That was my plum pick.
Noah Fant. I like it. Noah Fant.
Way to tee that one up.
Yeah, I'm not going. I wrote down joke Jermaine Burton. To put Noah Fant. That's what my notes are. I looked at Jermaine Burton. I was like, maybe, and I was like, Nah,
Maybe.
no shot. Maybe. Nah.
Yeah, you did threaten us with some really deep cuts, Cole, but I'm not sure that I heard that many. I'm
Not
talking about like
Burton. That he didn't go deep enough with Jermaine Burton.
pause.
That's deep.
That is deep, but it was a joke one. So, anyways,
That's not.
all right. My plum pick for this week. Give me Shador Sanders. He's gonna have 16 plus points at his price at 4,200. Core four. Cole, go ahead.
My co-foe, give me Jacoby Brissett, Alvin Kamara, John Mechie III, and Joanna Man Johnson.
You gotta be kidding me, dude. You took 2 of my core 4s. I'm gonna have to switch. That's crazy.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch one of those, but that's okay. I've got plenty of options. Trust me.
All right, I'll go so Gabe can readjust. I've got Iosivas, I've got Mark Andrews, I've got Ken Walker III, and I've got Michael Wilson coming off a 30-point fantasy point performance. Those are my core 4 for week 12. Gabe,
All right.
let it rip when you're ready.
I'm gonna keep Jacoby in because I was glazing him and I like him a lot. Andre Iosivas 4,100, Kyle Pitts 4,300, and I've been going back and forth right now on Kareem Hunt and Jerry Jeudy. Did you say Jerry Jeudy?
I did not.
Cole,
Nope.
did you say Jerry Jeudy?
Not my core 4. Britton brought him up in wide receivers, and I think I actually do have him picked in my lineup.
I'm gonna go Jerry Jeudy as my 4th.
Awesome.
Took out
I
Alvin.
like that play.
Yeah, I like that play a lot too.
I like it. All right, AI optimal lineups as we try to wrap up. I know we've gone a little long-winded so far, but here is the AI optimal lineup for week 12. Patty Mahomes, Chase Brown, Alvin Kamara. The computer agrees with you, Cole. JSN, Luther Burden III, which was a little bit of a surprise for me.
Yeah,
Stephon Diggs,
Wow.
Trey McBride, Noah Fant, and the Saints defense to round out the AI optimal lineups.
Not the Saints defense.
Saints defense, baby.
All right.
Is Kirk O'Chain's throwing it? There's going to be a pick at least.
I saw where about 10 analysts picked the Saints to win this weekend, and if the Saints win this weekend, I'll be shocked. But
we're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel,
Right.
AI. I mean, you're optimal. Give it to us.
Yeah. I'm going to go right here with Jacoby Brissett, Travis Etienne, Alvin Kamara, Andre Iosivas, Darnell Mooney, Rasheed Rice, Trey McBride, Derrick Henry, and the Tennessee Titans defense against Seattle. But what I'm thinking I'm going to end up doing, due to the fact that Kirk Cousins is allergic to anybody with the last name Mooney or name rhymes with Parnell, I'm probably going to downgrade Darnell Mooney to Jerry Jeudy and bump the Titans defense up another 700 salary, which will put me around 3,000. I don't know who's at 3,000, but that's probably what's going to happen there. I'm probably going to bump Mooney down for Jeudy.
I like it. Cole, what you got?
Starting off, I got Jacoby Brissett, 5,300. Jahmyr Gibbs, 8,300. Alvin Kamara at 5,500. A.J. Brown, 5,900. John Mechie III, 3,300. Jameson Williams, fun fact, Jameson Williams has scored multiple touchdowns, or not multiple touchdowns, but touchdowns ever since Dan Campbell took over play calling. So that's something I just found intriguing. So Jameson Williams, 5,700. Jawan Johnson at 4,000. And Jackson Smith and Jigba at 9,000, which is a really high price, but maybe he'll be worth it against that Tennessee defense. Defense, Pittsburgh Steelers against Chicago, and that's what I got, 2,800.
I like it. Here's my optimal lineup. It's going to change, though, because JSN scares the crap out of me at 9,000, but I have him in the lineup I'm about to give you guys. But I've got quarterback Jacoby Brissett, sound the alarm. Ken Walker III. I've got Jahmyr Gibbs. I've got Iosivas. I've got Michael Wilson, JSN, like I talked about, Mark Andrews, Trey McBride, and the Saints defense. I will be making some adjustments to this lineup because I think I'm going to downgrade JSN, put McBride in my flex, go with Jameson Williams, and then spend up and get a high price running back. So that's kind of where I'm at there. So I'll send that update. But JSN, I've already got bit in the butt once by a 9,000 player. I don't think I can let it happen again.
Yeah.
Learn from your mistakes.
I think Tennessee, I think the problem in his upside is definitely limited because the Titans offense is extremely limited. So.
Yeah, I think that's what scares me is game script on that one. So I think JSN is going to end up out of my lineup. But I'll send you all the update on the lineup here in just a second. But I will send you this lineup so you can put it in the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
All right. Feeling good about tonight. Feeling better about week 12. That's a wonderful thing about daily fantasy football. You can have a crappy week and have a complete reset. Last week was not my best week. This is going to be a better week. Ready for week 12. But before we close, you jumped on the music too early.
I was trying
Gabe,
to time it perfectly.
No, it was good. I liked it. But I know Gabe's got to talk a little bit about kind of our giveaway on the TikTok and YouTube channel. Want to make sure we get this. If you made it to the end of the video, here's your bonus reward. You'll have more opportunities to get into the running for the hoodie. But I'll let Gabe talk about it for a second.
Yeah, so we're Britton's got the hoodie. He's hold it up. I think he's got it over there sitting by him. We're going to give out a few of these. If you guys follow us and comment on our TikTok post, we'll be posting that within the next few weeks here. We're gonna have you guys comment and or follow the post or whatever. But yeah, it'll be giving it out, I think, the week before Christmas. So it'll be randomized for whoever gets it. But yeah.
If you stayed, I mean, the only way you found out about this is if you were loyal and stayed through the music.
Yeah. It'll be clipped, I'm sure. But this week, you'll be the first to know.
Yeah, I think yeah. All right.
Are we ready?
All right, week 12
ready?
is music, baby. Give me a little NBA action, NBA 2K. All right, guys. Good luck in week 12. We will catch you on the flip side. Happy hunting. That's it from the print. See y'all.